More than music.
So another hot topic of the moment is Takashi 6ix9ine as always, rat-a-tat-tat. Now, how do you feel about this whole this newfounded snitch culture? I believe, or more so, considering that hip hop is something that originated from the streets, and the foundation is based around those type of codes. How do you feel about people making excuses for Takashi ratting and just that whole thing in general? Like, what's your take on that?
It's fucking disgraceful. It's the only way. I don't know. It's crazy. And I be reading comments sometimes, and he gets so much. It's like nowadays views and shit. You really can't count that because they got all the streaming shit. It's all fucking inflated, but it's like he seems to have a huge support system behind him. And I read the comments from a lot of the young kids, and like, oh fuck that, I wouldn't do the time either. And that shit, it baffles me. It baffles me. Like, can't do the time, don't do the crime. And I get his situation's like a little tricky. Dudes are trying to fuck his baby's mom, rob him. But still, you made a decision to do something. And you gotta stand on that, for better or for worse. And there's no way you're gonna sway me on that. There's no fucking way. My lineage and my bloodline, like, that's just not how it is. So even now, I try to choose to not put myself in the situations where I can get in something like that. And you gotta, especially at a certain age, you gotta have some growth. But it's fucking deplorable, and I don't see it getting any better. To be honest, it seems like they're trying to normalize ratting, and it makes me think what the agenda behind that is. Is that really the people talking, or is that the powers that be talking? Because they can't get the information they want when the community doesn't speak on shit. But if they can normalize and make it popular to do this type of shit, then they can get a lot more information a lot faster. It's like, so who's really behind this?
Right. Who's orchestrating this? Yeah,
when I talk, I never met anyone so far that, and we've had this conversation with a million people, where they're like, yeah, fuck that, he should have ratted him. Now, most people ain't gonna say that shit to your face like they will on the fucking internet either, but
right.
I don't know.
Most people also don't know what it's like to face multiple, football numbers, or like the type of time he was facing.
No one knows what they're gonna do until they're going through it themselves.
Right.
And when you got a lot to lose as far as you're a fucking millionaire, you're looking at 20 years. These dudes already snaked you out. I mean, listen, strategically, it's fucking smart. If we're playing chess, that's the move to make. But what value does your life have after the fact? He's going to have to keep his fucking head, no matter whatever shit he's talking, he's going to have to keep his head on a swivel. He's going to have to pay for security. And realistically, this shit, especially the way he still acts after the fact, it's going to catch up to him. It's inevitable.
Right.
It's inevitable. You know what I mean? Families, like, really think about that. I wonder if they did like a tally on something like that. Just each person. I don't know how many people even want to get indicted in that because of him. But you take that one person and 4 other fucking people, their moms, their parents, everyone gets affected. So you affected possibly hundreds of families because of decisions you chose to make. You called those shots. It wasn't like he was over on some, he was definitely on some puppet shit, but he was still engaging and being active and calling shots. So I don't know, bro. I'll never understand that shit. And I'll tell you this personally, don't say that. I mean, listen, everyone has their own. I guess fuck that. Yeah, tell me. If you feel like he should have ratted, tell me. Because now I know never to say shit around you, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But, I mean, at the end of the day, all this music you hear, and even the music we making, it's hard, bro. I have to be conscious of that shit, too. Like, watch what the fuck you say, because they're listening. They use this shit in court, which I know there's, I think Meek Mill and them are trying to work on that, where they can't use this type of shit in court, because I know as of right now they can. And then you look at Young Thug's situation right now, Gunner, shout out to them, because that shit, that's rough, bro. When the feds come, that's a whole different level, bro. They don't come until they know they got you. You ain't winning in court. So you're going to sit down no matter what happens.
Right.
But still, can't do the time, don't do the fucking crime. I know that shit's like a played out saying. But I got in arguments recently with people. There ain't no fucking, there's no rules in the streets. That shit's a myth. but there's rules to a man.
Mm-hmm.
Man has rules. Fuck the streets. But as a man, there has to be rules and law and some, you know what I'm saying, some type of structure, because then this shit just running rampant. And what kind of bitch ass motherfucker are you that you do some shit, you get jammed up, and then you mention a whole bunch of motherfuckers that didn't get jammed up?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's
that
like,
is some dirty
all right,
ass
guys.
shit. I
It's
couldn't
like, guys,
do that
we're
because I
caught.
couldn't
Come
look
on
myself
out.
in a fucking mirror after. How could you look at yourself in the mirror, let alone be cocky?
Right.
And this shit will be on now, bro. That's just fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about. How do you feel about, not only did he rap, but now he's coming out, he built a team around him, and he's doing all the same things he was doing before as far as instigating beefs, going to Chicago, trying to antagonize
I mean, I think
people that are respected to be as gangster rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically, possibly putting his team in another situation.
Clearly, he don't give a fuck about his team. Anyone in his team that thinks, oh, he cares about me, look what he just fucking did.
Right.
You're shit. You deserve to go to jail at that point. You're stupid as fuck.
Right.
But I think he has to keep doing what made him successful in the first place, because the money train has to keep coming in. Right. Once that money dries up, can't pay the security, that's when you're going to see that headline. You know what I mean? It's fucking inevitable.
Right.
So he has to go as hard as he can.
Right.
To keep making that money. And it seems like as long as people keep supporting, every time he does nut shit, everyone seems to support it. He gets paid, and he can keep doing what he's doing. So until people stop supporting that shit, I guess it is what it is until fate catches up.
So what do you think about this new culture, this new era we're in, where troll rappers, I would like to call them, pretty much, where they basically use trolling as a form of marketing to market their music, but sometimes the trolling seems to overshadow the music. How do you feel about this culture that we're in of clout and doing anything for views, basically?
I mean, we don't believe in it where we're at, and that's not a motto that we follow. But I can't knock anyone for trying to get themselves, especially if they come from a certain environment, to try to get the fuck out of there, to take care of their families. I'm not going to hold that necessarily against anyone. I just think that shit's a double-edged sword. Once you start that, it does overshadow the music. Now, there was a time you couldn't do none of this shit, but listen, everyone has to get their own niche, and everyone's not for the long road. Because it seems like in this model with this business now that if you don't do that shit, you're gonna have, it's gonna be a struggle, because it's almost like that's what people expect. It's like the Instagram rapper, where it's like you got more skits and more just that clout chasing fake shit. And 9 times it's all fucking fake, just to keep the attention on you. And then the music, when you drop the music, it gets a quarter of the energy, if even that. Now, me looking at myself, I was an artist, and my whole point was to be an artist, not just to be famous. Because if I could figure out a way to accomplish this business without really getting famous, but to be able to provide for our families and create opportunities, that shit's my goal. I don't know if it's fully possible, but some people want fame over money, and I'll never understand that shit. Because to me, fame is a fucking curse. Right. For sure.
So you don't necessarily really care about the fame. All you care about. So what's important to you is just making quality music.
It's about the music. It's about the culture. It's about the music. Right. It's about getting the message out. It's about creating opportunity. Right. I can't judge another person on how they decided they go together. Right. That's not for us though. Right. Not that much. Right. And honestly, it would be easier for us if we were to do that shit. We could do that nut shit, and then maybe this thing happens faster. But that's not a sacrifice I'm willing to make. It's not us. It wouldn't be real. Because it wouldn't be who we are. So we got to get it from the mud the long way. Right.
So okay, Will Smith, Chris Rock. How do you feel about it? Do you feel that Will was justified? His actions were justified?
Fuck no. That was some bitch ass shit on his part. And I know it's like I don't want to pass the blame on anyone, but honestly, like I feel like I hold Jada accountable more for that than I do. I mean, it's some bitch ass shit, bro. That's some bitch ass shit. Especially when you're laughing at the fucking joke and then your girl gives you the face. But you know how sometimes you gotta turn up for your girl. Right. I heard someone say this the other day, and it's true. It's not even that bad of a fucking joke. G.I. Jane was a badass bitch.
Right.
You know what I mean? Demi Moore was bad as fuck, sexy as fuck, bad as shit, fucking seals up. That shit's almost like a compliment.
Right.
And I think in the Oscars, especially for Will to get like that moment, is completely overshadowed now by you slapping Chris Rock. And they're fucking friends too, so that's your man.
Right.
You could have handled that shit backstage.
Right.
That whole situation. And it's bad because that's going to tarnish Will's career. He has this fucking solid, you know what I mean? Like almost a perfect career. And for it to be now tarnished and have that red stain on it because of this bullshit and Jada on top of it. Damn, bro, that sucks, bro. That's a Philly native, so that shit hurts even more.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't making the type of music, you know what I'm saying? We was rocking too, but I still will always respect his craft, his hustle.
Right.
And Will seems like a genuinely good dude.
Right.
And that seems rare in this business, especially when you make it to the levels which he made it.
Have you seen the new Bel Air series?
I haven't. I've not seen it.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I heard it's great.
Yeah, it's very, very good. So, last question. So, how do you feel about everything that's going on with rap groups that are affiliated with gangs being indicted, such as the Young Thug indictment, Casanova, obviously Bobby Shmurda, and them getting arrested years ago, and Tekashi who ratted, but you know what I'm saying, like all these rappers that are getting indicted, especially the Young Thug Gunner situation, because Young Thug was one of the bigger artists, I believe. So how do you feel about this?
I mean, it's sad. It's fucked up. But I think like at the same time too, like you gotta, Young Thug shouldn't have been hands on with anything.
Right.
None of them should. Once you reach a certain level, you have other people for that shit. You should never be able to get tied to anything.
Right.
And if there is a real situation, you can't put that shit on record.
Right.
They're listening. You can't. And we all know that, especially the people that actually get millions from this shit, they know what it is.
Right.
But it's also bullshit because I really don't think, like, the effect that this will cause, how many families will suffer because of this. Once again, it's like, it causes more negative than positive.
Right.
But, I mean, once again, it's like, I don't know the Thug situation. He might be completely innocent. Casanova, same, all of them. You know what I mean? I feel like these motherfuckers spend so much energy trying to jam up people that finally made it out of a bad situation. But life doesn't work that way. You can't be around something your whole fucking life, and then the second you make some money or get a little bit of fame, it just disconnects. Your family's tied into it. Your friends are tied into it. You're trying to pull people up, but people gotta fucking eat. They gotta survive.
Right.
If anything, we should be spending energy on why are people still doing this type of shit? Why can't people eat? No criminal wants to mostly be a fucking criminal. It's about survival. That's
right.
it.
Right.
I mean, some people live it for the lifestyle, but even then, hurt people. So maybe if the conditions weren't what they are, you wouldn't have that. Maybe we need to start addressing the root issue to shit instead of just fucking throwing the lipstick on the pig. You know what I'm saying? That's throw a bunch of motherfuckers in jail. That's the answer. That shit don't seem to be fixing nothing.
Right.
So, but you got to be careful what you say.
Right.
And make sure you're isolated.
Most
especially
definitely.
when you're in a position to change lives. You have a responsibility to not put yourself in situations where you can get jammed up and they can get you. It's hard, but it's a responsibility you get when you're in that position.
Right.
I feel for them though, bro. That shit's rough.
Yeah, definitely a waste of talent, you know. Somebody's
I
talented.
fuck with Thug, bro. I always fuck with Thug. He got a lot of slack for like the way he dresses, and like he was definitely like a pioneer of that shit, but motherfuckers were doing that shit. I seen old album covers from like the 80s and shit. These dudes would pretty look like fucking drag queens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it ain't new. None of it's really new.
Right. Prince, all them.
Yeah.
Guys. Rick James. Right.
Motherfuckers look like women half the time.
Definitely.
And listen, teacher, that's what you're into. That's what you're into. Each his own. I don't personally give a fuck.
Right.
I care more about I ain't gonna say names, right? But if you're an artist, right, and you're promoting a certain type of energy, right, and that's not who you are,
Right.
and there's something in my head right now.
Let's say some names.
I mean, I don't want to alienate
Let's
people,
say some
bro.
names.
Listen,
Say some names.
I don't want to
Listen, this is more than music. We do more than music, man. Be a man on here, man.
I don't want to speak on someone I don't know personally because I'm getting all my information from the outside.
Right.
But like, here's someone I could say, and she seems like an intelligent girl, Megan Thee Stallion.
Right.
It seems like, and I get it because it's almost like these women can't make a certain type of. If she was making records about going to college and fucking, positive shit, we all know what it is. You probably will never hear it. So it's almost like she's forced to make that type of music. But now that she's got her situation where she's locked in, now you got to turn around and do something because it seems from what I've heard and seen that's not who she is as a person. College grad, smart girl, good girl type shit. So why is it that you're helping whoever the people to promote a certain image to the girls? And when I hear my daughter saying, and I'm not saying my music is any fucking different to a degree, you know what I'm saying? But I guess it's like once you get in that position and you see the responsibility. When I hear my daughter like saying some of this shit, it fucks me up a little bit.
Right.
Especially, but I don't feel that way about Cardi B or Nicki Minaj. I don't feel that way about them because I feel like genuinely the shit they're talking about, that's what type of time they're on. So it's almost like when it's real, it's real. And when it's like you're purposely putting a certain message out that's not who you are, it seems like it's an agenda.
Mm.